What is up, you guys? Pete DiCarlo here with DiCarlo Capital, and today we're going to be talking about Microsoft. So we had a trade come through on our Discord server. If you're not already a part of it, I highly recommend that you go and check it out. The link is in the description. It's completely free, but for the premium members, we give out free trades, and this is one of the trades that came through on Microsoft today. We talked about it earlier in this morning, and we had this beautiful descending wedge with a good divergence and a potential breakout. We're going to go over that trade, how we saw that happening in real time, and then we're also going to go over Microsoft on a bigger time frame and talk about this big bounce off at $290, and if I think we can see Microsoft take another push back up to $340. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe. Like I said, check out the Discord. It's completely free. You guys get access to free courses, live stream seminars, webinars, and you can upgrade to get access to all of our trades. Now, looking at Microsoft here earlier this morning, you could see we had a beautiful descending wedge with a strong divergence, and you could see that we were holding this level right here. What tends to happen on a descending wedge is that we have a resistance that is slowly making its way down to a fixed point. In this area, the apex was down here around $307, and a support that's slowly making its way down to this fixed point, which down here is $307. And if you guys watch this channel a lot, you know that we talk a lot about the pimple or the squeeze. So we talk about how you have to think of one of these resistances, or this resistance being one of your fingers and this support being the other finger, and then squeezing a pimple until all the pus is in the head of the pimple, and then a pop happens. Now, most of the time when we have a descending wedge, the pop will be a move to the upside, right? Normally, if we have something like an ascending wedge, like Palantir, which I called out today in a day trade, we normally have a bearish move to the downside. So we saw this forming here on Microsoft. You can see that we had this beautiful wedge forming here. If my charts start to load, msft, there we go, I put it backwards, but you can see here we had this beautiful descending wedge. We had low volume holding steady, good pop, 5-minute pop here with good 5-minute volume, followed by a nice rally. Now my price targets here would have probably just ended up being up to this VWAP, because this VWAP is going to normally act as a resistance, and you can see that it actually did, but this was the move that I was looking for. And you can also see here that this VWAP lines up with exactly where this lower high was before, which is going to act as like a resistance or a rung on a ladder on our way up. The next price target, which we didn't end up hitting, would have been up here at about $311. So we had a 0.5% move. Now, if you're somebody who trades shares, that's probably not a significant move to you, but if you could have gotten in with options, specifically maybe 2 weeks out, probably could have made 20, 30, 40% in a couple of minutes, which would have been really cool. Now, I wanted to review that with you guys because a lot of you guys asked me about day trades or any types of trades that I'm taking. But now let's take a look at the bigger time frame here for Microsoft. So you can see on Microsoft, basically for about the past 4 years, 5 years, we have been following this trend line. Now, if you look even further, we have been trending up. It's just most recently we have gotten this bigger move to the upside here. You can see before, the trend line mean all the way back in 2016 was like down here. But since then, Microsoft fundamentally has been doing well. The market has been doing well, and we've really been riding on this major trend line support. So the same situation kind of applies with SPY, which we were talking about earlier, where even though we've been beaten up pretty bad the past couple of weeks, we're still on this major trend line. You can see last week we closed very, very strong above the trend line that we currently have here. I'll actually zoom in so it's a little bit easier for you guys to see. But we ended up bouncing and holding this trend line, which is extremely, extremely important. Now, this week, we are still up here as well, still looking good, but there is one thing that I would be a little worrisome about, and we're going to talk about that right now. So let's take a look here. We have a good support, which we talked about before, right here at about $275. If we actually look at the daily chart, it might be a little bit easier for you to see. Good support here. We use this as a support back on September 28th and July 20th, and then also as a support here on the 25th. But one thing that I am looking at right now is a potential head and shoulders pattern. So you can see this could be a potential shoulder here, right here, and you can see here this could be a potential head, and then this could be a potential shoulder. And if you guys don't know how a head and shoulders pattern tends to work, we normally have a shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline down here at 280, a snap of 280, and a move down to potentially 225, potentially $180. Now, I'm not saying that that is going to happen, and I'm not predicting that that is going to happen, because when I am trading, I am only personally not trying to time the market or predict the market. I'm just using past performance and to formulate probabilities of trades. The probability of this thing continuing to push back up to 340 is pretty high, right? Doesn't mean that it fundamentally should, or that the market should continue to push up higher. But so far, looking at Microsoft and looking at SPY, both looks like we're going to take a push and probably try to get back up to, on SPY, at least 460. So as of right now, Microsoft is looking very good. The biggest thing that would worry me is if we broke that trend line once again and closed below 280. If we did close below 280, then we could potentially see a drop down to probably 220, which would be another 20% loss. But we'll see what happens. As of right now, absolutely nothing to worry about, guys. Thanks for all your support. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you later on.